My name is Cedric Serrano, and I want to tell you about something. Have you ever picked up your morning newspaper, and when you read the headline, it says, "Mother of 35 arrested for stealing $287,000 from the government"? Well, this woman was named Barbara Williams, and she was arrested for welfare fraud. She claimed to have 34 children, none which actually existed, and lived under 7 aliases. What is welfare? Today I'll be telling you 3 main points. How, when we pay for welfare programs, it's not actually the program but more. I'm going to tell you what welfare fraud is, how it affects taxpayers, and how are we combating welfare fraud. Welfare fraud and the mixed conceptions of who committed. Welfare fraud is taking more from public assistance than is actually entitled to you. Methods of doing this is claiming to live in having a living status that is not the one you currently live in, such as lying about the number of people in your household. Also, it's lying about having a spouse or the removal of a spouse, which is saying that you're divorced when you're not actually divorced. And also claiming to have more children than you actually do have. People who are accused of welfare fraud are mostly middle-income families who have a single parent, and also low-class criminals. People who are mostly caught are government officials who are abusing the system and illegal immigrants. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Social Science Services said that illegal immigrants sum up to 24% of food stamps and drain as much as $360 from the California government. How does this affect tax-paying Americans? Taxpayers pay public assistance, and welfare is pretty much summed up from their tax-paying dollars. States have public social services that distribute these welfare programs, such as food stamps and Social Security. But however, states also had to pay for departments to track down these frauds. Also, there are organizations that actually hire people to track these down, such as the Wake County Fraud Investigators and the Medicaid and Public Assistance Strike Force in Florida. Actual cases. In October 26, 4 different counties in New York arrested 80 people who stole $1,767,000 in welfare money, such as food stamps, daycare assistance, and other various welfare programs. $69,000 from California food stamps were used in other states, such as Hawaii, and were not actually using, they were residents of California who did not use the money in California. They use it in other states. How are Americans combating it? The government is making welfare recipients apply for jobs if capable. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When my family grew up on welfare, and when I turned 18, they required for me to apply for a job. And I couldn't fill the requirements for the job because of college schedules. And therefore, they've decreased my mom's income from welfare programs dramatically. They're also thinking of fingerprinting welfare recipients, and as well as making them have drug tests to see if they're capable of receiving these welfare checks. The working class has invested in non-for-profit organizations that sell merchandise to help down their tracking of welfare fraud, such as the New York Welfare Investigators. And there's also various hotlines for you to call if you want to report someone who has committed welfare fraud. Well, welfare fraud is not as big a problem in America, but it's still problematic because it still comes from our tax dollars. And even though it has decreased over the years, it still adds up. Well, my name is Frederick Serrano, and this is my speech.
Thank you, Frederick. 5